What's up, folks? We are live right now here at High Level. If you haven't paid attention to what's happening at High Level right now, we're in the middle of Summer of AI. Essentially, it's a period of just promotions where we are allowing a ton of people to just check out a lot of our AI tools. But more importantly, today I have a legend in the house, someone who's been absolutely, critical and vital in our community. He's a mover and a shaker. Someone we've like Sean and I feel like, watched him become who he is in our community from the beginning. He's been with us for several years now. So I asked Andy, can we get 45 minutes of your time? I know you're busy. You have your own virtual events, in-person events. You've got a big team behind you. You got more team members at the house now that you got to take care of that I know of. So either way, man, we appreciate you saying yes.
Man, it's an honor to be back here with you, Paulson, and I'm excited to share some value on AI Studio within the high level community.
Absolutely. So before we go any further, as you pull up your slides, Andy, um, how did you find high level? Like, what is your beginning stages of the journey? Give us a quick 10-second overview of your background a little bit, and then we can go right into a lot of the content we got planned for today.
So I ran a marketing agency where I built websites for businesses, and I went to an in-person event in 5 years ago or so. And that in-person event, Sean was speaking, and he spoke about the value of high level and how you can white label it, sell it as your own software. It blew my mind. I signed up. I didn't even hesitate. I started my trial right then and there. I signed up, and then I went into coaching. Actually, you were the coach back then, I went into coaching to really understand. So I think when someone gets high level, it's not just like here's a software, good luck. It's here's a software, but let me guide you to the possibilities of the software. And through the coaching, through the community, through the membership, through what's possible, I realized that hey, I can really build the life of my dreams, and I've been able to do that because of it.
Absolutely. So you're someone that I know firsthand that went from that big high ticket model to subscription revenue. Like walk us through that just a little bit. And if you want to share your slides or
Yeah.
whatever, I'll be able to kind of put that in. I assume some of these things might be stuff that you have in your slides anyway.
So today's presentation is really how to build faster and give more value with High Levels AI Studio, this new feature with the Summer of AI, where you can literally turn a simple idea into a working website or an experience online. It's so simple to use that it's practically an unfair advantage to anyone outside of the high level ecosystem. And that's actually what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So before AI Studio was out, which is a new feature, I used to have to build websites myself. I had to go in the back end and build websites and build campaigns. Then I got to a level of hiring people. But even that, you're hiring multiple levels, which I'll get into multiple people, which I'll get into this presentation.
I love it. So we're excited. Buckle up, you guys. This is a perfect time for you to like shut off all the screens, close your door, and just get your note paper out, books out, and just really dial in. Because one thing I do know about Andy is that he's not going to teach you just the tech side of it. He's going to show you the business model. That's kind of his like superpower is the go-to-market strategy that he's implemented. He's spoken at several of our events in person, on stages, and things like that. So he's someone that we've spent a lot of time just watching and growing. And AI Studio is all obviously pretty new. Andy, like, what's your overall like feel of all these AI tools that High Level came out? I feel like within just the last 6 months.
Yeah, just in the last year, my business has completely changed on how fast we're able to deliver value for our customers. And it's all because of these new AI features. So the biggest opportunity is that you can build faster, you can give more value much faster at a higher level, and you can lower the price, allowing you to gain more market share. Now, these are all technical words, but all it essentially means is you can get more customers in a shorter period of time because of these AI features. And I'll share with you some examples here.
I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and put the presentation on full screen and kind of get out of the way here. My audio is on, so I'll still chat with you just so you know,
Yeah, feel free to stop me or if you have any questions here.
for sure.
Uh, Now, I wanted to do a presentation specifically for HighLevel's AI Studio, and one of the reasons why is because out of all of the AI features, I've been spending the most amount of time on the HighLevel's AI Studio. So if you're not familiar with AI Studio, I believe at this point you still have to go into labs and just activating your account. It's a feature that's currently at the time of this recording in beta, but they're moving fast. HighLevel's moving fast in updating the product, updating the features. So it's an AI powered builder. So right inside of HighLevel, you can describe what you want in everyday language. And what I mean by everyday language is just as if you're talking to a friend, you can ask AI or ask AI Studio to build something for you. And I'll give you a couple scenarios of what AI can help you create. So if you're thinking about web design and websites, the page layout can be designed within AI Studio. The headline, the copy, the written content, the images, the forms, the experience, and the pages behind every single page can all be designed in AI Studio, which years ago you would need multiple team members. So the shift that's taking place is you don't actually have to start on a blank screen. And I think that's the biggest challenge for marketers, agency owners, is that when you're signing up a client, you charge a big fee up front. One of the reasons why is because you got to start from scratch every single time.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
with AI Studio, you can literally start from a prompt, and it'll give you the first version, and then you can edit it and make changes faster than you would hiring a freelancer or even having to build it out yourself.
Absolutely. And those of you that are watching live right now, I'm kind of curious of where you are in your AI journey. Like, give me a one if you're just simply starting out. Like, you haven't messed with, if you're not a vibe coder yet, if you're not on AI Studio, like whatever you want to call it, like, give me a one in the chat if you are just starting out, Paulson. Like, just know, I know about AI, but I haven't started. Give me a two in the chat if you kind of consider yourself either a semi-pro or a pro, like you've been doing this for a while, you understand the technology, and now you're trying to just simply figure out how do I go to market, Andy? How do I go monetize this?
Well, one thing you can count on from me, I'm not the techie wizard guy, but I'm the guy that talks about business strategy and how to generate revenue and take care of your family. You know, at the beginning of this class, masterclass, Paulson said I have a new team member at my home, and what he's talking about is I have a year ago, actually, my daughter is now 1 years old. I had my first child, and you know, I don't beef up high level because I don't beef up high level because it's just a great tool. When I share with you from the bottom of my heart, this completely pivoted and changed the direction of my life. Meaning, when I started in high level, when I started my agency in high level, I was at a time where COVID was a year and a half in. We were just in a year and a half in. We were still walking around with masks a lot, and businesses were shutting down. Businesses were removing their marketing budgets. Businesses were reconsidering our investment where they were paying my company. So slowly but surely, I was losing customers because of the COVID-19 pandemic, where the clients that we were working with just didn't need us anymore, and they were figuring out their business. So I remember I'm a faithful guy, and part of my faith is asking the opportunity to what is it? What does the pivot look like? What does the next level look like? And I went to an in-person event, and at that in-person event, out of all the speakers, all the expos, everyone's promoting their stuff, different software platforms promoting their things, companies promoting their products. High Level came out and shared. And when I saw High Level's the opportunity with High Level, I jumped in. So now I'm able to spend more time with my children. I'm able to spend more time with my wife because I have something called monthly recurring revenue. So I'm an advocate, and I'm going to share that with you on this presentation. I'm an advocate about getting cash coming in every single month, and I'm going to give you, by the end of today's presentation, I'm going to give you a process for you to go and create monthly recurring revenue inside of your business. So if you have family, if you want to retire, if you want to expand your life, whatever that may look like, and you want money coming in every single month, then this is the presentation for you to be at. So, yes, Paul, do you want to say something?
No, you're good, man. Let's keep going. I don't want to stop you.
So I'm gonna give you a scenario where in my company, I run a marketing agency. So prior to coming into high level, I ran a high ticket marketing agency where we would build out almost anything under the sun. Like if someone asked us to build their Shopify store, we built Shopify stores. We built online courses on different platforms. We built marketing funnels. So we had a series of like a menu of different services. And one of those services was our website building service, where we would actually build websites. Now, here's just a year ago, by the way, this was still true for many agencies. So, but years ago for me and my agency, this is how it would work, how we would fulfill. I would reach out to a business, I would present them the opportunity to revamp their website. I would sell them on a $5,000 or $10,000 website rebuild. Then, out of that budget, the 5 to 10,000, I would have to hire a copywriter, and that copywriter was the one that wrote all the words on the website. Right? I didn't just back then, AI wasn't even a thing, as far as it is today. Then we needed graphics for the site, so I hired a graphic designer. Graphic designer created the graphics, and then we hired a web designer to assemble it all together. So that was my team. And the team, when they would go to work, they would take sometimes 3 or 4 weeks to get a website done because they're coordinating amongst each other. Like once the copy is done, which is the website, the words, once the words are done on the site, then they would send what they have on a Google Doc to the graphic designer. Graphic designer would put all the graphics together that would make sense based on what the copy was saying. Then they would take that and then send it to the web designer, and the web designer would put it all together. So with all that being said, it would take weeks. That's where I can justify to our client, hey, it's going to cost you $5, $6, $7, $10,000 for us to build your website. That was then. Let me share with you what it is now. AI Studio builds the first version, your website, in a prompt. And I tested this many times. In less than 10 minutes, what took my company weeks, years ago, what took not even just my company, the industry weeks to accomplish, AI Studio can do it in 10 minutes or less. And I've tested this multiple times. So AI Studio will generate the layout, write the words, create the visuals, and then you can consistently update it and ask for changes or revisions time after time. And within an hour, you can have a fully built website that used to take weeks to accomplish. You can have a fully completed website that's ready to launch and ready to publish online. So literally one person can complete more of the process than what 3 people did 4 or 5 years ago.
So speed is everything because in the olden days, customers are waiting to hear back weeks, and they're calling you at night trying to figure out what happened, especially when it's 5-figure or 6-figure projects.
If you invested 10 grand to have a company build out your website, and you see the money come out of your account and 5 days go by, and yes, they're working on it, but the reality is you just know it, you spent that much money, you're going to ask a question. What's the update? Can I see something? Can I experience something? And AI Studio is changing the game because you can show them within minutes.
Yeah, now it feels like you can build something out during the prospecting stage and just kind of finalize it later.
100%. So let me show you how AI Studio works. This is on the right-hand side is a screenshot of AI Studio. Now, at the time of this recording, at the time of this live, you're going to need to go into Labs, activate AI Studio, and once you activate it into your agency or a sub account, you can start using it. So when you go in, the first thing it's going to ask you is just to describe what you want to build, where you'll explain if you're going to follow this website strategy where you're selling websites as a service. You're going to explain what the business is, the audience is, what the service is, what colors you want, and the goals that you have. Now, I'm not super technical, and because I'm not super technical, I like to make things simple for myself. So I'm going to give you a tool that I use for my prompting. Instead of typing, I actually use a tool called Whisper. It's a tool that you can just talk to the AI Studio.
Yep.
So, and I'm sure there's other voice to text platforms as well. So you can just use voice to text to talk to the platform. So that way you can get your ideas out without having to type it. Right. That's the point. So you want to describe it. And then you can even use Google Docs for this as well. By the way, you just talk to the Google Docs, copy the prompt right into AI Studio. Then, as soon as you describe it in detail, you're going to click Generate. Now, the more information that you give it in the beginning, the more valuable the output is or the closer that it is to your vision. So if you give it more context about the business, about the audience, about the services, the colors you want, the goal of the website, if you get the more information you give it, the closer it is going to become to your vision. Then you're just going to press enter, and in front of your eyes, you're going to see it be built. AI Studio starts to build the first version that it's using your instructions. Then you're going to review it. So you're going to look at the words, of what the copy said. You're going to look at the images, make sure it looks good. You're going to look at the links. Make sure to look at mobile view as well. This is huge because it could look different on mobile, but at this stage of the process, you might be just 8 minutes in from the point of opening up AI Studio to reviewing it. That whole
Mm.
process might be just 8 minutes. All right. Then you're going to ask for updates and you're just going to talk to it. So as you would talk to a friend. So you're going to say, hey, can you change on the top left? Can you change the navigation bar and change it from yellow to green? On the bottom, I noticed that you explained it as if we give away the service for free. We don't give away the service for free. We actually charge for it. And the starting price is $100. So you're going to talk to it as you would a friend or someone who's next to you. And then you're going to connect and publish it. So all you're going to do is just connect your forms, connect your calendar, and then publish it on an actual domain. And voila, within 30 minutes or so that I've noticed, as quick as 30 minutes, sometimes even 15 minutes, you can actually have a live site up and running, ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, years ago, this used to take months to accomplish. Now we're talking about within 30 or so minutes, you can have a fully functional site ready to go where you can sell it to a small business owner. And I'm going to share with you how in the upcoming slides.
Okay.
So here's an example of a prompt. Hey, AI Studio. Sometimes I actually talk to it like that. I say, hey, AI Studio, create a 5-page website for a local dentist office. Use blue and white colors. Explain the services. Where my goal here is to have patient reviews. I want you to include a contact form, and then I need you to add like some type of appointment booking section inside of the platform today. And it'll go ahead and start building. It gives you the output, then you can revise it. All right, so here are some things that you can build on AI Studio. It's not just for websites. One of the ways that I use it is for websites today, but it's not just for websites. You can do so much on here. You can do lead capture pages, portfolios, blogs. You could do booking forms, appointment booking pages, contact and quote request forms, multi-step surveys, customer onboarding pages. Like our customer onboarding was built using AI Studio. And then you can build interactive tools such as calculators, the dashboards for your business, and even class registration pages. Now, for the technical people, the form that's inside of AI Studio, you may need to connect the form that's in the CRM. So right now, HighLevel is still working to integrate it all together. So if you go into the main CRM of HighLevel and you create a form, you can pull the embed code and ask AI Studio to paste this embed code and use this form, so that way you can run your automations on the back end. Okay, and I'm sure HighLevel support can give you more directions on how you can do that. If you ever fall into a question, like if I ever have a question about the tool, my first step is contacting support.
Yep.
Now,
Because they go live on Zoom with you, so like anybody would jump in on a Zoom anytime zone, and I think Spanish included.
now if you're watching this and your goal is to generate revenue, right? So I noticed that there's a group that loves the tech and their focus is on mastering the tech. And there's a group that is here to generate revenue for their life, for their business, and for their family and so forth. Okay. The point that I want to make here is how important AI Studio is when it comes down to speed. Customers often choose the business that makes their life easier and faster. We know this. And Amazon is such a powerful company, not because it just sells everyday products. It's a powerful company because it delivers faster than most. Here's an example. If it's 11 o'clock at night, like in my life, if it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, oh, we don't have toothpaste, I need to buy more toothpaste. And then option A is I have to remember tomorrow after work to go to CVS and pick up the toothpaste. That's one option. Or option 2 is I can, right at 11 o'clock at night, be on my phone, go to Amazon, type in toothpaste, add it to cart, click buy, and then it delivers to my house by 4 o'clock in the morning within a few hours. And by the time I wake up, the toothpaste is at my door. Of course, this is the experience that people are having with Amazon, that many love Amazon. At least that's my experience here. Your client will love you because you get things done fast. If another company is operating off with archaic systems where they have the copywriter, the graphic designer, this person, that person, and all of these people, and it takes them weeks to build a website, and you come in out of nowhere and you're like, hey, I can have that website done for you today. Who are they going to choose? of course they're going to choose you because you give them value faster, and how are you able to build faster? Your secret weapon is AI Studio. So you can produce the first version within minutes. You can show your customer value by putting something real in front of the customer. And we'll talk about prospecting, where you can actually go into a small business and sell them a website today. So I have a YouTube video that I'm working on right now of me cold calling businesses. I was driving on my way to record some like Facebook ads, and on my way there, I had a 20-minute journey to get to my destination. I'm calling businesses on my journey, on my drive to my destination, which is a 20-minute drive. I'm calling businesses. So I go to Google, I typed in tax services, and then I typed in hair salons, and I'm cold calling them. And I'm actually pitching my offer, and I'm gonna put this on my YouTube. So if you check out my YouTube, you'll see that. So I'm actually pitching my offer to small businesses, where I'm showing them I can get them sales opportunities, I can get them leads. What they don't know is how I'm gonna fulfill is gonna be the tools that is inside of HighLevel. So I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna say, hey, I'm gonna get you new customers. You already have traffic. You've been in business for over 15 years. You already have traffic. We're gonna take those people who are coming to your site. Well, by the way, I went to your site, Mr. Business Owner, and I noticed that there's no way for them to fill out a form. There's no way for you to capture their leads. All you're doing is just giving a bunch of information. You're telling them when you're open and your services, but there's no chat widget. There's no lead generation. So I can guarantee you sales opportunities. That's my pitch. Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owners, I can guarantee you sales opportunities. And many of them are like, how can you guarantee me sales opportunities? Well, because when I go to your site, I notice there's no way for me to opt in. So you already have traffic. You've been in business for. I typed in taxes in Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas, for context. I typed in taxes in Las Vegas. You were the first 3 that came up. I went to your site. I'm not the only one that's doing that. You just don't have a way to capture leads. So I know for sure I can guarantee you sales opportunities, or you don't pay. If I can't get you sales opportunities, then you don't pay. And I'll explain more about that when I get to the pricing section of this slides. So I can show them more value sooner. And then because it takes me 30 minutes to an hour to complete a site versus years ago, it took me 3 weeks to complete a site, I can serve more clients. You can serve more clients. You can help more businesses with a smaller team. So like means you can have a small team. It could be you and a friend, just you by yourself, starting a 6-figure or multiple 6-figure business, just with you and AI Studio and grit to call businesses. So the fastest business to deliver real value often gets the first chance to earn the customer. So if you versus another a company reached out to the same client, same tax company, same hair salon, same HVAC company, same plumber, same whatever, same business, and that person says, hey, I can build out your website. I notice you don't have a website. I charge $10,000 for the website to be built out. That's because I have to hire a copywriter, I have to hire a graphic designer, I have to hire all these people, but I'll build out your website. And it's 10 grand and I'll have it done for you in just under a month. And then you come in out of nowhere and here's your angle. I'll build your website for you for free. I'll set up your website for you and I'll have it done by the end of the day. Just say yes today. Say yes today, I'll have your website done by the end of the day. And actually, if you give me 10 minutes, I'll go, let's say I call the business. If you give me 10 minutes, I'll send you an email of the first version that I'm working on.
So your goal is to get them a win first, right?
My goal is to show the value first.
Okay, get the value first, and then what happens next?
Then now I'm gonna send you an email. Hey Deborah, this is Andy, your website guy. I'm gonna send you an email. In this email will be a link to a demonstration of the site that I just built for you. What I like to do is I like to finish the site. I won't charge you for the setup. All I ask is for you to maintain it is $297 a month. To maintain the site is just $297 a month. So here's how it works. Here's the free website offer. It's a simple strategy. It lets you give value first. So when I call a business, I'm calling a business with a guarantee. I'm not calling, at this stage, I'm not calling businesses that don't have websites. And let me tell you why I'm not calling businesses that don't have websites. They don't care to not have a website. It's already shown in their actions. They don't care to not have a website. Instead, I'm calling businesses with a guarantee. And the guarantee that I'm giving them is I guarantee you sales opportunities. I don't even call them leads. I discovered over the years that every time I call the business owner and I'm like, hey, I can get you more leads, they don't have a clue what I'm talking about. If I'm talking to a hair salon owner, if I'm talking to a stylist, to a hairstylist, if I'm talking to a HVAC, they don't know what what leads are. What do you mean leads? Like, what is a lead? I can guarantee you sales opportunities, which in our world, it's a lead. It's an opportunity to create sales. So I can guarantee you sales opportunities. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for businesses that have websites with limited opt-ins, with limited places to opt in. They don't have a chat widget. They don't have a form. They don't have anywhere to contact us. They don't have anything like that. They're just giving a lot of information. So I go to Google, I choose my niche, contact them. So you're going to choose a local business. You're going to find that business with an old or weak website that clearly needs an upgrade. Then number two, what you're going to do is you're going to build a demo for them. So use their information that they already have. So one of the things you can do inside of AI Studio is you can put the current link to their current website.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
can put the current link and say, hey, this is their information. AI Studio will go ahead and look them up online, look at the copy, and then rewrite the copy, rewrite the images, and upgrade everything all within that 8 to 10 minutes time frame.
Wow.
So this is where I'm like, hey, give me 10 minutes. I'll go ahead and build you an updated site.
What are the reactions like when you do this? How are these customers reacting? Are they just like stunned?
Well, actually, most are not. They're impressed. It looks cool, but it's not enough for them to pull out their wallet. And that's the reality of it.
What
My
should we
problem is,
do? What should we do about that, Andy?
so I focus on the guarantee. How many more sales opportunities do you want? And
Got it.
I explain to them what you are doing here inside of your business is you're effectively giving somebody a brochure and you're saying, I hope you do business with me by having the way that your current website is. So meaning when I go to your website, you're giving a lot of information. This is equivalent to you walking in the mall and somebody just flicking a brochure in your face and they're like, here, just take my brochure. What do you do with the brochure, business owner? And what do you think they tell me, Paulson?
Uh,
Like if you're in the mall, Paulson, and someone is flicking a brochure in the mall, you're going from one end of the mall to the other end of the mall during Christmas time, and a random person in the middle of the mall is flicking a brochure, and they're like, "Here's a brochure," and then you take the brochure, put it in your pocket. What do you typically do with the brochure afterwards?
absolutely trash it.
Trash it, trash it. And I explained that to the business owner, and the business owner's like, "Yeah, I mean that is what I do." Well, Mr. Business Owner, your brochure, your brochure, your website is a brochure. They absolutely trash it in the digital world. So what we're doing is something different. Now, I want you to imagine this scenario. You're now in the mall. Rather than just flicking a brochure to somebody comes to you, pulls out their phone, and gives you their name, their email, and their phone number, and they say, reach out back to me because I want to do business with you. So, Mr. Business Owner, which would you rather have? Option A of someone grabbing your brochure, putting it in their pocket, and then trashing it 5 minutes later, or option B, them coming to you and saying, here's my name, here's my email, here's my phone number. I'm a little bit busy. Can you reach out back to me? I want to do business with you. Most people choose option B, where they want people to literally come to them and say, I want to do business with you. Well, what the website does that we're building is it generates sales opportunities. So there must be forms. There's two features that I suggest, a form and a chat widget.
Yep.
A form and a chat widget on the site. And then, so you build this demonstration with that context, you show the owner, either call them or you visit them. I love focusing on local business because you get to have them, you get to be able to pull up to their office, pull up to their location.
Well,
And
you
you
shake
become their
hands
guy.
and create trust, you know?
You create trust, especially, yes, you create trust. So you show the business owner what you've designed for them, and you make a clear offer. Like, for example, I live in Las Vegas. In the city of Las Vegas, almost everything is within a 30-minute radius. So if I'm talking to two business owners that are near each other and I'm trying to pitch both of them, I'm going to pull up to that area and I'm going to go to business owner number one, show them what I developed, and then drive over to business owner number two and show them what I developed. And hopefully I close two deals in that moment and I create $600 in monthly recurring revenue in that afternoon.
Wow.
Okay? Then last thing is you make a clear offer. So, hey, Mr. Business Owner, I already started work on this. Usually something like this is $5,000 for us to build out. All I'm going to ask is that you just pay the monthly maintenance. And with this system, if you don't get sales opportunities, cancel. If you don't get sales opportunities because I developed this, completely cancel. And so for them, it becomes a no-brainer because what I'm promising them is not a beautiful developed website because they really don't care. I thought they would care, Paulson, transparently. I thought that they would be like, wow, this is so cool. Like, put it in my business and change the domain because it's so beautiful. But is it effective? Does it help create revenue?
Yeah.
And now, not only do I create beauty, but I also create something that's effective inside of the business that actually generates more revenue. And so this AI studio allows me to deliver much faster. And all I'm doing is making it look more beautiful, yes, as well as putting the basic things that allow them to grow the business, which in this scenario is a form and a chat widget.
Amazing. And if they don't have existing traffic coming to their current website, well, there's a different problem you got to solve there by helping them get traffic as well. Or do you go after businesses that have traffic already?
Yeah, I'm going for businesses that. So if you look at point number one, find a business with an old or weak website. I'm looking for businesses that have old, weak, outdated websites, and I'm going there with a promise of I guarantee you sales opportunities. That's you are paying for sales opportunities at this point because they have the traffic, and that traffic I can convert it into an opt-in. Now
Right.
I'm gonna share something that's not on this slide that on how we can make this even stronger. I want to showcase to their customer a special offer on this website to get them more sales opportunities. So let me give you an example of a real life scenario. So we have a hair salon that we essentially did a majority of this process for. And what I set up for them was on their website, the chat widget pops up. And it's not, I don't call it a chat widget, I call it an offer widget. And what it does is it showcases to their customer, the hair salon, where they can get a hair blowout for $39.
So you
Now,
have an offer that's like striking and visible and obvious on the website.
right, it pops up. The website is beautiful, but to create conversion, because my promise to the customer is I'm going to guarantee you sales opportunities. And in exchange for those sales opportunities, you're going to pay $297 a month. Now, part of it, their justification is I have an upgraded website. That's their
Mm,
justification. They're like,
mm,
okay, your website design must be so good that you're so confident that it's going to turn into customers. I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign up. And I just tell the AI studio, hey, create a section at the bottom that gives a special offer, a low ticket offer. And all they need to do is just opt in. I'm not
mm.
responsible for what happens after the opt in. All I promised was a sales opportunity, which is a lead, which is a name, email, phone number of someone who opted in for a special offer. So by having that piece, my customer is getting sales opportunities. There's never been a position out of hundreds of customers. There's never been a time that they never got sales opportunities because I make a striking offer on the site for them that they typically don't have, or they're not marketing. So if the business owner has like a coupon in the back pocket that no one knows about, we just put it on the site and we
Yeah.
just say opt in to learn more. And then now I can go to the client and I can say, hey, Mrs. Client, I just want you to know all of these sales opportunities I came in, that's because of that $297 that you're paying or $397 that you're paying. I charge $397. So because of that $397 that you're paying, this is where it makes sense. This is why you're paying us. And
Let
it's
me
fair.
ask you a question here, Andy. So why not throw in additional things like, hey, any customer that walked in, can we request a review for you on behalf, especially if you have the website on? Can we turn on reviews for you or GMB or like why not kind of create even more stickiness on the software stack?
Yes, and after you set them up with the core offer.
Gotcha.
This
Okay.
we
This
come
is just
in with
entry. Yeah.
the entry offer, and then after the entry offer to to make sure the customer is sticky or is retained over time where they continue paying, we just start jumping in and start showing them additional things that the software can do. I discovered, Paulson, that I would get excited. I would watch the YouTube videos, I would watch the training, and I would get excited with all of these things that HighLevel can do, and I would start gurgling. I would start pitching them to clients, and they would be like a blank stare, like, let me think about it. So what I discovered is that I get to focus on one offer and try to close one deal just to get them as a
Yeah.
customer.
Yeah. It makes
Then,
sense. Yeah.
then once they're a customer, then we're gonna come in a month later and say, hey, I noticed, like for example, one of the reasons I chose local is because I can walk into the location. So here's one of the things that I did do. So I built up the site widget and so forth for a hair salon. 2 months later, I walk into the location and I wanted to create content with them. And
Yeah.
then so when I walked in, I said, hey, I noticed that you don't have anything in the store that is a lead generating. What if you did this chat automation where people text a
Yeah.
keyword to your phone number? And so
Yeah.
we start adding things over time. including Google My Business reviews.
Makes sense. I mean, one of the golden rules of sales that I know is never present two offers at the same time, right? So you have to wait for these phases to kind of mature and then enter them into a second offer once they kind of stabilize. So once they have some sort of a win, you know? So I feel dumb even asking the question of like, why why add more things? Well, it gets more complicated. They have to make two decisions, you know?
Exactly. I mean, you hit it on the nail with your experience, right? You hit it on the nail. So by coming in with this one clear offer in the beginning and sticking true, and here's what I noticed: most beginners um, are open to switching the offers based off of the response. So meaning that your client gives you an objection of like, I don't need a website. You're like, okay, then let me give you a Google review. And you're like, I don't need a Google review. Okay, let me give you a chat widget. And it's like, I don't need that. And it's like, let me give you missed call text back. And then like, you
Then
add
it
all
just
these.
feels like you're taking any sale.
Yeah, then it's like, dude, who are you? Stick to one offer and overcome the objection by showing more value as to why you believe this is the great first start for them. Because it might take 3 no's for them to say yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's do a quick temperature check. Those of you that are watching live, what are your offers today? Like, put that in the chat. I want to know, like, where are you at? And it's totally okay if you raise your hand and say, Paulson, like, I do have multiple offers, like you were explaining not to do, right? It's okay. Like, we're in a closed environment, even though we're live in the community. Like, I kind of want to understand, like, where you guys all are. Because even one of the disadvantages of high level is that it has too many things, right? It has too many offers, too it's too big of a platform sometimes. So for you, there's no need for you to go to the market and have like 10, 15 different things and overwhelm a local business. Like I promise you, they can tell you they're techie and they have marketing experience and sales experience, but as soon as you get into the trenches, a lot of them get overwhelmed by the amount of things they have to do when it comes to correcting course on technology or correcting course on their sales process or correcting course on their offers even.
I don't know if this is a good analogy, but I'm gonna say it anyway. When I see like my family's from Haiti, and Haiti is a poor country, and there's a lot of people who are suffering. And I see those videos online or on TV where it's like the child who's neglected with food and didn't have any food to eat. And I remember being younger, seeing those commercials, and I would say to myself, why don't you just bring the person who's neglected, who's super skinny, no food, and bring him to a buffet and just stuff him with food and just like bring him to a buffet and just give him 3 pounds of food or 5 pounds of food. And shouldn't he be? This is my thought process at 8 years old, 9 years old. And then as I get older, I realize like, no, there's actually a regimen that you need to take to bring someone back up to nutrition. And you can't just stuff someone with food and think they're going to go back to normal right away. So when we look at a business and we learn all of this training from High Levels YouTube, I do trainings on my YouTube and all the coaches and in the community and so forth. You have all this knowledge that you've gathered, and you look at a small business owner and you see that they're quote unquote malnourished. Their business is quote unquote malnourished.
Wow.
And you want to come in to solve a problem. You can't come in and be like, hey, here's the buffet of different things that I have. Here's chat widget, website, funnels, all these elements, and constantly, because they become overwhelmed because there's so many things. You need to give them the first fruit. You need to give them water. You need to give them the basics, and then over time they get stronger and stronger and stronger. High level powers all of this. Yes, it has all of it available today, but that doesn't mean on day one you just dump the buffet on a malnourished business the same way you wouldn't dump a
Yeah.
buffet on a child who is malnourished and needs to be strong.
Yeah, that's a wonderful analogy, Andy. I think to even add another layer to it, you will come across business owners where the malnutrition is in their mindset. Like they have a healthy business, everything's fine, but they're afraid to scale or they're afraid to like get out of the business a little bit and maybe hire someone. Like you see that in owner operated scenarios where they're in control of everything and they don't give up anything, right? So they have healthy businesses, but as soon as they have to build a lifestyle where they're taking time off and going to the gym or spending time with family, like you can see sometimes their mindset is just very malnutrition as well, to what Andy's saying.
You hit it on the nail on the YouTube video that I created, where I was cold calling these businesses. Because in my community at GHL Engine, there was a group of agency owners that were saying it's so hard to cold call. So I wanted to show them like how simple it is. So I started cold calling. Now, Paulson, I cold called I think 6 or 7 businesses. The first 2 didn't pick up voicemail during open business hours. That's the reality of small businesses. Then the third one, when I called them, Paulson, I said, I can guarantee you sales opportunities. Are you open to bringing more customers? The business owner said, no, I'm not open for more business. I don't want more clients. And these are the same type of businesses that would say, talk to their mastermind or their local friends group and say, man, I'm trying to make more money. I'm trying to go to the next level. So even when I pitch, I'm not going in to try to change someone's mind. And I don't suggest that you do that either, where if you're watching this and you follow this process, you start calling businesses and you're like, hey, the first person I present this to, they're going to buy because Andy said so. Actually, some of the mindset of some business owners will say, look, I don't even want to grow right now. They might tell you straight up, like, I don't want to grow because I don't have the right infrastructure. So it wasn't until the fourth or fifth one that I called that ultimately said, actually, yeah, we're looking to grow. How can you help us? And I presented how I can help. So don't be discouraged if you call a bunch of businesses. Number one, there's going to be a group of people that don't pick up. Number two, there's going to be a group of people that you speak to that they need a website, they need to upgrade, and you're coming in with an amazing offer such as I guarantee you sales opportunities or you don't pay. And when you present them the offer, they still say not now or not interested. Don't be afraid of those. Just focus on the people who say, ironically, I've been looking to grow and you call me at the perfect time. Look for those diamonds in the rough. And there's a couple slides that I have here on how you can sell this. Where if you could sell this for $297 per client, I try to stretch the price point. So my version of HighLevel, I sell it for $397 per client, as high as $697 per client. Which the difference between the plans is how much attention that we give them and how much updates that we give them and so forth, and how much more support. So, but if you start at $297, like if I was talking to myself 5 years ago when I started in HighLevel, I would say, hey, Andy, go for $297 for just one hosted, maintained website. It's $297 a month, and waive the $5,000 setup fee. And you have to showcase why it is valuable at $5,000 and waive that setup fee to make it a no-brainer for people to sign up. 5 clients brings you just under $1,500 in monthly recurring revenue. For the same product, same service, just delivered 5 times. 10 clients gives you $2,970 in monthly recurring revenue. 20 clients gives you just under $6,000 in monthly recurring revenue. And it's the same fulfillment process for every single customer. You cold call or you visit, you present to them a crazy guarantee like, hey, I'm gonna get you some sales opportunities or you don't pay. And let me just explain what that means. If a business has traffic and that site doesn't have a lead gen form or a contact us form, as well as they don't have a special offer on their site, it is pretty realistic. It's a high chance of that somebody, once you add all those elements, that their customer who's going to that site will at least put in their name, email, phone number. So this is why I come in with confidence, like I can guarantee you sales opportunities or you don't pay. And if 1 out of the 20 in the scenario ultimately doesn't get any sales opportunities in 90 days and we got to cancel and refund them, I'm okay with that in the scenario that the rest of the 19 got the results because of this special offer.
Got it. Andy, let me ask you a scenario question. So we talked about this years ago, Andy. There's a way to think like a software company and there's a different way to think like a marketing agency, right? So if you sell this as a SaaS or a hybrid SaaS, like why is this more powerful than selling paid advertising for $3,000?
Dude, first of all, I used to do paid advertising and I used to charge $3,000 a month for it. It was $29.97 years ago. And the amount of I see the question here.
I know the answer to this, but these are things we talked about for months and months and months at a time, and it's a full circle moment for me to ask this question to you because you had the marketing play like on deck, right? And then you've introduced like a SaaS hybrid or SaaS with an option to provide consulting or marketing or whatever you like. It's up to you as an agency or a SaaS company. Back then, that was That was the only option, was selling advertising, and you're feast and famining and hoping for the best, and hopefully Zuck doesn't take down your ad accounts, you know.
Yeah. The when I came, and this is full circle to be on a to be on a call with you here, as well, because I remember I had some major pushback when Paulson and Sean and the community was talking about creating monthly recurring revenue and dropping the high ticket done for you services. And I had some major pushback, and I just couldn't. I was open, but I couldn't see the math. I remember there was a scenario where Sean Clark was talking about selling the software for $297 a month, and I had just closed a $40,000 deal. I think this was like my pivot, where I had just closed a $40,000 deal a few weeks prior, and Sean Clark was at an in-person event. If you're coming to the Level Up Summit, the opportunity is in the show up. I'm telling you, by the way, at the time of this record, you get your ticket to the High Levels Level Up Summit in Dallas, Texas. The It's when you go to those rooms, that's where the shift takes place. So mind you, at the time, 4 years ago, and some change, I had just gotten married. I'm now a dad, a husband. I want to be a dad, and I know I need more money. So I thought by having $40,000, $50,000 deals, that meant I was making money. But it takes a lot of resources and attention when you're selling something at 40, 50, 20, 10. It takes resources and attention. What I just showed you here is something that's repeatable. It's something that is scalable, meaning call the business owner, set up the website, 30 minutes, website's done, get them, move over to the domain, your job is done. In this scenario, by the way, just for context, then those business owners aren't even logging into the software just yet. We didn't even talk about them logging into the software, needing to understand how the software works, log into the sub account. You create the sub account for them, yes. You can have some automations in the back end, like when a lead comes in, send a text message to the business owner, and so forth. But at this stage, the business owner didn't even log into the platform. They just said yes to a website that generates sales opportunities. So it's a scalable process. So I remember years ago when I went to an in-person event. So go to Level Up Summit, because so I went to an in-person event, and that's where everything changed. All the YouTube videos couldn't make the impact that the in-person event did for me. So at this in-person event, Paulson was there, Sean was there, and I had just closed a deal for 40 grand. And the story is that as I'm talking to Sean, and Sean is telling me, hey, dude, sell a software for just $297 and just go get 100 plus customers. And I was like, Sean, man, I closed $40,000 deals, brother. I'm a closer. And in that moment, ironically, it's like a godsend. I got a call from that client who I just closed 40 grand with, and he needed attention, he needed direction, he needed to talk to me, and he wasn't happy. And why he wasn't happy was because he just didn't understand that it took 3 to 4 weeks for us to do our piece, and I take full responsibility for that, by the way. It was my job to make sure that he understood. But what I discovered on that call, it was actually that he understood. His wife said, whoa, you spent that much money? I now need to be sold again. I need to talk to the guy that sold you so that way he can sell me. So why he called me was not even for his doing. His wife said, you spent that much money? I need that guy to tell me why it's a good investment. So I had to resell the wife, and that's what I did on that call. And Sean is telling me, like, hey, bro, like, go sell the software, create monthly recurring revenue. And then I did the math. $40,000 divided by 297. It took me 11 years for me to get the 40 grand back from that one client. And then it dawned on me. What Sean was saying is you have scalability. You can go get in 1 month. You can technically get 100 customers in 1 month with this type of process. And it's even faster now with AI Studio than it was 4 or 5 years ago when we're just, it was just the software by itself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I share that with you is in this scenario, the way I think. I'm a big thinker. Right now, I share with you, you can get to 20 clients and get to just under $6,000 a month. I have hundreds today. I have hundreds that are paying me every single month, and I don't sell these high ticket deals anymore. I focus on the things that just the basic monthly recurring revenue that I could do a webinar in front of 100 people. Out of the 100, get 30 new customers, and I walk off stage or I walk off the webinar, and they're automatically going through fulfillment with my team, and I just focus on the next webinar, and that's the value. So if I get in my best month, my second best month, I did 88 customers on one webinar. 88 customers, and that was like a year and a half ago. So I did 88 customers on one presentation. It was to a group of coaches, and I did this presentation for this course company, and 88 customers come in. And I remember I left and I went on a date with my wife. I left the webinar and we went to Fleming's. And we go to this restaurant Fleming's and we're like eating and I'm like, yeah, they're all in fulfillment, they're all getting automated, they're all going through the emails, the sequences, the text messages. Years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when I would do the $40,000-$50,000 customer, as soon as I closed that one deal, I'm glued on my computer and I'm having to build the process for what they need to, what they wanted and what they needed, and I was stuck. So it's a different mindset shift for us
Yeah.
to go from high ticket to monthly recurring revenue. I'm such an advocate for it because it genuinely has
Yeah.
changed my life.
And,
Where
and you were
business
doing
has
this
gone to
before. You were doing all this before all the AI tools came out. You didn't have AI Studio.
I had copywriters. I had copywriters. I had graphic designers. I had the web designers on my team. I think in 2022 we were up to like 60 something, 70 team members that were doing a bunch of things. And now I challenge my teams like, how much more can you do with the same amount of staff, or how much more can you do with less staff, and how much faster can you get it done? And that was the challenge. So my team is trained on AI Studio. I did a training for my staff a couple months ago on AI Studio. So the reason I share this with you as you're watching this is for no matter what stage that you're in. If you're a beginner and you're just starting out, just follow the roadmap that I just shared with you. Ideas will start populating of how you can offer more value with the additional features inside of HighLevel. If you're someone who's in the middle, who's not so advanced, but you got a couple of sub accounts, you got a couple of clients now, build one process where you can scale. Choose one niche, call all the people in your local area in that niche. So if you go for plumbers, if you go for HVAC, if you go for dentists, choose one niche, go for one group in that niche, and call all of them and present them a crazy opportunity, a crazy guarantee. And if you remember that offer that I shared with you, have all of them use the same offer on the website. Have all of them use the same offer, and they pay you $297 a month for maintenance. And if you're someone who's advanced, then now you can start going out of your local area and start going into other areas and start acquiring customers in your niche in other areas and acquire market share. This is what the opportunity is. Whether you're a beginner, go get your next 20 customers, get to $6,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue off of this, and start building on top. If you're in the middle, focus on your local area in one niche. If you're advanced, then focus on acquiring market share in your neighboring states and your neighboring counties and so forth.
I love it. I don't even want to go back to the slides anymore. It's been such a divine conversation, full circle moment. Because I remember when you were closing six-figure deals, and I remember you celebrating. You're like, man, we just had these big whales that we just closed, and in a way, you're like, like what's the word? You're relieved and you're proud of the team and things like that. And I remember, man, it's better to build the McDonald's of digital marketing because you don't have to deal with the stress that comes with the high ticket. Like it's cool to have the option to go sell high ticket, but I don't like clients calling me at 11 p.m. at night about something like I don't want client relationships like that, no matter what. And it's not easy to deliver the quality they expect either, no matter how well you do something, right? If you can provide a Bentley and they will still not have the perception that what it is. Like you and I can think this technology that we provided is the best thing, but they may not understand all of it because they're just simply not in the world of marketing, right? So half the time you're proving yourself even after you sold a big deal, right? The SaaS model or the hybrid SaaS model takes all that pressure away. And if you lose a couple of clients, eh, go do another webinar, get another set of clients that are willing to jump into the boat and build the momentum with you. Like there should be enough people there in that industry. But anyways, final thoughts you may want to share, Andy, as we kind of close this out. I feel like this was a great ending to what we were teaching.
I think two things here, and this is real life scenario. This is real life understanding that I have. Everything that I come from different stories and principles that I create from actual activity. So one of the things that I did recently, I was inspired by HighLevel's awards. Is one of the things that I've done recently is on my HighLevel business, my version of HighLevel is called Progretta. So in my HighLevel business, my sub accounts, I asked them how much, and I asked them to prove it, how much money have they made inside of my sub account. So we go into the invoice section inside of their sub account, and you can see how much they made, 6 figures, 7 figures, and so forth. And we gave them an award. So there's a 6-figure club, there's a 5-figure club, there's a 6-figure club, and then there's a 7-figure club. And the ones that were in Las Vegas, I took them to Morton Steakhouse. So I brought them into a steakhouse, and we had this dinner. Actually, on that dinner is where I showcased to them AI Studio. That at the time AI Studio just came out, and I told them that we just launched it inside of their sub account. And I was talking to one of them, and I understood how some of our clients make decisions. Here's how your client is going to make some decisions. High ticket versus low ticket. Remember in the beginning of the call, I talked about that we lost customers during the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, that's because when they look at their spreadsheet, when they log into QuickBooks or whatever platform that they have to track their revenue or their expenses, you can sort it by how expensive things are all the way to the least expensive thing is. Years ago, we were in the top. So meaning one of our clients would log in and they would say, okay, so here are all of my expenses. Let's sort by the most expensive all the way to the least expensive. And we need to start clipping what's at the top because we're struggling right now. So they came in and they looked at the expenses and they said, oh, we're paying Audate Media. We're paying them $3,000 for Facebook ads. We're paying them another $4,000 for this service. And then we're paying another $2,000 for them to have a manager or a project manager on top of it. So with all of that being said, let's find something cheaper and let's cancel it. Now, fast forward.
This is even if you provide great service.
Paulson, if you're running ads for a small business, if you don't provide great leads, if you don't provide enough leads, enough sales opportunities, enough leads, and you're running ads for a small business, they top you. They're gonna cancel you.
Anyway,
they're gonna cancel you. Now let's go on the other side. You provide great, amazing leads. Not only that, amazing leads, you provide an abundant amount of leads. Here's what I've seen time and time again. Andy, I got an email. Andy, your service has been amazing. We have over 1,500 sales opportunities that you delivered this month. It is wild. We can't even service 1,500. So I'll tell you what, let me cancel the service for the next 4 months. Let me work these 1,500 leads, and then I'll reach out back to you in 4 months. Because you did such a great job, let me just work on these 1,500 leads. Even if they all wanted to buy from me, I couldn't service them. We don't have the infrastructure. So let me go ahead and cancel the service with you because you did such an amazing job. I'll reach out back to you in 4 months. And I'm like, okay, well, so I do a great job, I lose the business. We do a bad job, we lose the business. So the internal conversation with digital marketers back then is like, okay, just throttle so that way you can maintain. just throttle so that way you can maintain. That's not good for them. But here's what ends up happening. They end up chopping you if you're at the top of the list of expenses when they're at a down in their business, which all businesses go up and down. So when they're in a down and they start to cancel expenses, they see you at the top, they cancel you. Well, today, most of our businesses are paying $197, $397, and $697 a month. We're at the bottom of the list now. We're at the bottom of the so one of our clients might come to and say, hey, business is in a tight place right now. And I say, oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I had to cancel my marketing guy, my Facebook ads guy. I had to cancel this. But Progretta or my version of HighLevel, yeah, I mean that's our operating system.
We need the dashboard.
we need that. We need that. And I was like, man, I'm retaining the business, and that was just me 5 years ago. So if you're in that stage today where you're running a high ticket business, I feel you, brother, or sister. I feel you 100%. It makes a lot of sense in the time, but trust me, on the other side, when you have hundreds of businesses, you have over 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 customers that are paying you every single month. You're not going to notice that one customer that cancels because it makes up a small portion of your business. And when you're running high ticket, you can't imagine having a webinar and getting 100 customers. It's hard to imagine.
Yeah.
But when you're running low ticket subscription, like the website that I just shared with you, you can get 100 customers, put them through an automated system, and each site, it'll take you 1 hour to do 4 websites, by the way. It'll take you 1 hour to do 4 websites. When years ago for me, it would take us 3 weeks to do 1 website. So I hope this was valuable to the audience, Paulson.
Absolutely.
What we're doing as well as what they could do.
Absolutely. I think it was last weekend, I was going through like the award winners for this year, like myself, Kelsey, like Chase. We go through and select like our panel members for SaaS panel, agency panel, affiliate panel. So a lot of us, we go through the award list and kind of look at numbers and figure out where it is. if, and I'm not implying to anybody here you're going to go make money at all. This is hard. This is a
Yeah.
very difficult business. Everything we're sharing is for educational purposes from a disclaimer standpoint. But if you're someone, like, to me, the amount of pressure it takes to build a 500 client traditional marketing agency, because I've built an agency to almost over 200 plus clients with Rob and Alex, right? I know what that feels like, right? We had 44 team members. I know. And that's outside of the white labeling marketplace services we used to provide, right? So I understand the pressure of this. But if you take a business like that and compare it to like a McDonald's model, quick widget selling, SaaS selling, like 297, if you're at 2,000 customers, that's around, to me, around the same amount of pressure. Like an agency at 200 to 2,000, right? Because you don't have a lot of fulfillment after you sell the software. That puts you right under 600K a month at 297 a piece. 2,000 times 297 is 594K. Let's say you cut half of that down for cost. You take home, let's say 250. Well, that's a $2.5 million business annually that I promise you is very difficult to build with traditional marketing agencies. Like, there's not that many agencies that are doing those numbers faithfully and consistently without dealing with the high churn they're dealing with. I'm not implying you're gonna go make a bunch of money, but like, the math doesn't math for me from a traditional agency standpoint, because I'm gonna put in 100-hour weeks, sacrifice my family to build something way more unstable versus a SaaS model, right? You don't have to sell high level. Go sell something else. The model still stands. Like, I'm saying that respectfully. Like plenty of people build their own software after they learn the SaaS model at high level, right? They become SaaSpreneurs here, and then they go launch something all the time. We support them. A lot of them integrate into our marketplace after.
Yeah.
We have great relationships, right? But anyways, Andy, I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
No,
Take us,
what you're
take us
saying,
home.
what you're saying is the practicality of it,
Yeah,
because when you're running high ticket at 200, what you're gonna at 200 customers, what you're gonna need is project managers per customer. And the challenge there is if you have great project managers on your staff, and when customers churn and there's not enough work for the project managers, what do you do with that your team? Do you let go of your team now? So that's one of the challenges with churn. So you end up lowering your price to keep the customer, so that way you don't actually lose your staff, and then you end up losing EBITDA. You end up losing the profit margin inside of your business, and it ends up backfiring down the road, because all revenue is not good revenue. And I
yeah,
discovered that all
yeah.
revenue is not good revenue, because if you get a customer that's like $3,000 a month, and in order to service that customer that you're charging $3,000 a month on high ticket services, you need a copywriter, you need a project manager, you need customer success team member. So you
Ad
need all of
buyer,
these media buyer. You
a
need
Zap guy.
all those pieces. And then if you get 10 customers, you're like, okay, your team is like excited. They're working on the 10 customers. And then 3 customers leave, and then now they got open availability, and now you're just trying to scramble to just not lose your staff. You're not even talking about profit. You're just trying to scramble to not lose your staff, and that's the reality of the stuff that we go through. When we look at running a SaaS model, and you're like charging like 197, 397, 397, like around that price point, your team size doesn't go up.
Mm.
You
Yeah,
know,
we've got several SaaSpreneurs, man, like over 1,000 plus accounts, and they have like 3 people that 2 are overseas and 1 is a closer.
uh, one specific niche.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would figure. If
yeah,
you have one
yeah.
specific niche, like
It's
that process
less.
is repeatable. That process is super repeatable. You can build a
Yeah,
snapshot, and we could get into into the weeds. But
yeah,
that model is where the profit's at.
yeah.
1,000 sub accounts, 3 people on your team, and it's just automated, streamlined, and the founder is really just on podcast, and webinars is driving
The
traffic
podcast
in.
life. Yeah,
Different mindset, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching this and you're like, wait, well, it's a different mindset. And I think for me, it came from hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing and hearing and going through the kind of the grit, and in the back of my mind realizing like, okay, what would it look like for me to get 100 customers that pay $297 versus one customer that pays $30,000 this month. So if you can switch your business model, I would suggest adding the business model first.
Yeah.
If you, yeah, I wrote a post in the Facebook group at one time, like the steps that I took, where I didn't switch the business model right away. I
You
added
do the
in the business model
hybrid, then you
the
go
hybrid.
all fast later.
Yeah.
But anyways, Andy, let's just close it up right here. I appreciate your time, man. This was a phenomenal scenario. I feel like we were just going heart to heart towards the end of this webinar. We just got rid of the slides and said, let's talk about what we did last 5 years. To just you did, not me. Like I watched you do this for last 5 years, and here we are preaching what we're teaching. And even now, like at high level, we're doing exactly what we teach everybody else to do. Final thoughts you want to share, maybe?
I think the opportunity is, if you are inspired, this masterclass might have not completely changed the game for you if you're at that stage. Because I know if one masterclass wouldn't have done it for me 5 years ago, I would have
Yeah.
it would have been a seed in the bucket. I invite you just to continue to educate yourself. Go to the High Level YouTube channel, search on YouTube what SaaS is, what software as a service is, what a SaaSpreneur is. Go into the High Level's YouTube channel, read what the other people are doing on these podcasts, because it comes from hearing and hearing and hearing what's possible, and then number two, how they're actually doing it, so that way you can duplicate the results.
Yeah, and one thing I forgot to talk about is AI Studio is free right now because it's summer of AI. So the perfect time to dabble and kind of check out some of the AI stuff, and we'll go from there. But either way, Andy, I look forward to seeing you in person again and online again, and keep rocking, man. Keep rocking.
Yes. I'll see you all at the Level Up Summit.
All right, bye for now.